Hello, hello, hello. Y'all, I'm gonna put on some background noise. Yeah, I'm gonna put on some background noise because this is too quiet. It's so funny how we can't play music, but hello. Okay. If it's too loud, please let me know. Oh, that's okay, Crystal. Yeah, I'm gonna save the live. I hope everyone is doing well. Oh, we have filters. Why not? Or these? No. Anyways. What music have I been listening to lately? I've been listening to a lot of FKA Twigs, um, Billie Eilish, hip hop, Tyler, um, yeah. Hi, hello. Anyways, so today I wanted to make a video talking about how you cannot run from yourself. Because I'm often getting emails and DMs and tweets on Twitter about how why is it that the 3D is so hard to escape whenever you guys are trying to manifest something. Here's the thing, here's the thing, here's the thing, here's the thing. It's not that it's hard to escape your 3D, is the reason why you think it's so hard and so difficult is because everywhere you look, everywhere you go, it's just you. That's why it's hard to leave the 3D behind, because everywhere you go is you. It's just a reflection of your brain. So I've said this before in the video where I mentioned that the physical world is just a physical replica of your brain, of your mind. That's literally it. That's all. Your world is just your mind in physical form. So that's why you can never outrun yourself. That's why when people lie to coaches, right? You can lie to a coach, but your physical reality is not going to lie to you because it's a direct reflection, it's a direct mirror of the person you're being. So, as much as you want to tell a coach that you're doing everything correctly and you're doing all what you're supposed to be doing, but nothing is happening, you just told on yourself, because you just told me, or you just let that other coach know that you haven't been doing what you're doing, what you say you're doing, because the physical world is a direct reflection. You can't ever run away from yourself, and you can't lie out of your 3D reality. So yeah, it's not that, we're choosing to not give you the information to manifest. It's not that we're holding off on telling you something to manifest. It's literally just people just don't apply the things that we are telling them to do. That's it. People say they do, but they're not. And here's a very good example of this. How do I know that people aren't doing what they're meant to be doing? Well, let's just take this. I'm not subscribed to her, but when I tell you, all of yesterday, that was all that was on my timeline was about the Wizard Liz thing. It was so disheartening to see. Well, first of all, I want to say, like, I'm not going to be saying anything about her situation or whatever, because this is not a drama channel. However, I do want to talk about the people who came on Twitter and started to basically deem the law useless because someone that they followed or someone who's a manifesting influencer didn't get what they want. When on several occasions, said influencer has talked about on numerous occasions their beliefs on men. And so to me, it's kind of like it's no wonder people are not getting what they want, because if you're folding this easily because of what's happening in someone else's reality, I could just imagine what you're doing in your reality. I could just imagine. And then second of all, what does someone else's manifestations or what is someone getting or not getting in their reality have to do with you? That has nothing to do with you. The law works for you and only you in your reality. What someone else does or how someone got a desire that was unfavorable in their reality has absolutely nothing to do with you. So when I saw on Twitter that everyone was like basically saying that the law is fake, the law doesn't work, the law, if it didn't work for someone who's apparently a manifestation coach, then it must not work for that like your average person. When in reality, I believe like the wizard Liz, she's not even like a law of assumption coach. She's said on numerous occasions that she believes in law of attraction. So I don't know where everyone was getting all this from, but that just like goes to show and gives you a peek into these people's minds, where their minds are at, and how I don't even want to say weak minded, because it's like not that. It's just you guys have to stop having sheep mentality. Stop having sheep mentality and grow a backbone. What someone else does or doesn't do has nothing to do with you. Stop taking someone else's results or lack of results to make it mean that you can get what you want. You are your own person. That has nothing to do with you. Hello, hello. Thank you. Do you have tips for wavering? So I'm gonna tell you guys what I do, right? What I do now and what I did before. So when it comes to wavering, literally, I was having a conversation about this the other day with a friend of mine. How I don't even have to constantly affirm for something for it to happen. I can just decide it does, and it will. If I think I don't, if I think something is gonna be like a nuisance in my reality, I just decide it won't, and then it's not. So a lot of the manifestation that I've been doing is very decision based. Not that I wasn't doing that before, but it's more so now than ever. How like I've come to realize everything can literally just be a decision. I can just say this isn't gonna happen and it won't. And it's not because I affirmed it a million times. It's not because I affirmed it whenever it came to mind. Sometimes I'll do that, which there's no problem. But when I say I only need to say it one time, I'm talking about one time. I'm talking about just once. You only say it one time and it's already done. Because if I'm the operant power in my reality, why would I have to consistently keep repeating myself over and over and over and over again? My whole world is just me. My whole world is just my mind, but in physical form. So why should I have to consistently keep repeating it? Plus, like now I'm at a point where my mind doesn't have that much resistance. Now, does that mean that if you're constantly repeating or affirming or robotic affirming, you're doing something wrong? No, not at all. If techniques work for you, keep using them. Keep doing them, keep using them in your everyday life. I'm just allowing you guys to almost like take a peek into what you can do with manifesting. My job is not to tell you how to manifest, but what the possibilities are. Oh, we have a lot of Bible thumpers in here today. Anyways, yeah, these days I've just been like making decisions. So like if I want to manifest, let's say like a certain dollar amount, I'll just say this is what I have now, this is what I'm experiencing. Or like if I want someone to text or call me, I'll just say in my mind, this person is calling me today, and then they will. Or like if I want to hang out with a specific friend, I'll just affirm this person wants to hang out with me today. And then they'll either text me or something comes up where they want to see me today. And it's literally always been this easy. However, what I have come to find is you need to set up your world, your self concept in a way that basically allows you to funnel your desires through those types of manifestations. So, some things I like to say keep in place is like manifestation is instant for me. I always get what I want. I'm the operant power. I manifest all my desires the same day. So these types of like affirmations keep your desires coming into you really, really easily. And I never used to believe it before, but when people used to say that manifestation can be instant, it really can be. You just have to allow it to be instant. You just have to allow it to be instant. A lot of the times in the past, when I used to disagree with manifestation being instant, it's because I wasn't allowing it to be instant. Either some part of me in my brain was still agreeing with a past experience that basically co signed with the reality that my manifestations couldn't come instantly. And so after I started affirming that I manifest instantly and things just happen after one decision, I've been manifesting super quick, super easy, super fast. And I don't know, like it's been really fun to say the least. It's been super fun to say the least. So okay. I'm gonna scroll up and start reading your questions. How do you maintain your frequency when life keeps throwing shit at you and it feels like everything and everyone is out to get you? So, for me, it's essentially understanding how the law works and how it doesn't work. So, this is combated by understanding that it doesn't matter how I feel, the law has no choice but to work. So I can feel sad, I can be happy, I can have any range of emotion and I can still get what I want. Why? Because I understand what the law is and what it isn't. So the law is not going to stop working for me just because I'm a little sad. The law is not going to stop working because I have a bad day. It's going to keep working regardless. Think of it as like, the way gravity works. Just because you're sad, does that make gravity not work for you? Not at all. Not at all. Gravity still continuously is going to keep working no matter what emotion you're feeling, no matter what is happening in your physical world. It's still going to work. I lost my place. Hold on. My sweater. Oh, I thrifted this. But this, I got, I want to say, it was ASOS. ASOS. Because I thought it was originating from somewhere else. But no, it was ASOS. Hi, from Brazil. Anyways. Is there such a thing as someone else's reality if everything slash everyone is us reflected back to us? No. Your reality is yours, no one else's. And I hear this mostly when it comes to like conversations about like if you're manifesting a specific person and somebody else is manifesting that same specific person, who wins? Well, obviously you do. Even in the reality where person B gets the SP, it's because you allowed it. So you still manifested that. How do you deal with people who want to impose their limiting beliefs or want to knock you down for having favorable beliefs? I either don't bring up the topic about manifesting or I just ignore it. Honestly, I've come to realize that if I don't want to engage with someone or if I don't want to hear what someone has to say, I have free will to just not listen. And I feel like we know that, but we don't use it enough. Like it's the same thing when people are being rude and disrespectful in real life. I don't have to stand there and hear you and listen to you speak. I can't even begin to tell you guys how many times I've had like a family member be rude or say something to me that I didn't agree with in a very rude way or like try to belittle me in some type of way and I just turned around and walked away. Like I feel like a lot of you don't use your free will how you're supposed to, and that's why everyone is so stressed. You don't have to listen. You don't have to engage if you don't want to. So I'm living in my car, no job. I honestly just want the money and freedom. Should I focus on the dollar amount and having it to get the apartment or have the apartment? So the end result is completely up to you. That's gonna be your choice, but it it really doesn't matter. And the reason why I say it doesn't matter because the manifestation really doesn't matter if you're not doing this correctly. And what I mean by doing this correctly is just think in your favor. So whether you choose outcome A or outcome B doesn't matter, but what does matter is what are you doing with your thoughts? And that's simply just telling yourself you already have what you want. That's literally it. Just tell yourself you have what you want and don't move from that reality. There are a lot of trolls here today. Thoughts on manifesting facial bone structure change instantly or within a week. I truly believe I can, but I keep wavering when looking in the mirror. So just don't. So just don't waver. And when I mean just don't waver, I simply just mean stop yourself from wavering. Whenever you notice yourself you're wavering, just say, no, I have it. That's it. That's what I meant earlier about making decisions. When I make a decision, my decision is final. I don't let a random thought that pops in 15 minutes later sway me out of my decision. A lot of you do allow yourself to be swayed out of your decision, and that's why you keep coming to these coaches and saying that you don't have what you want, but really it's because you're not staying in that reality. When I say decide, I mean decide. Decide and stay there. Do you have a favorite movie? Yes, my favorite movie is Spirited Away by Studio Ghibli. Oh, thank you. Y'all, I'm just hiding people because, like I said, I use my free will however I want. Yeah, you can just walk away. Literally, just walk away. Don't engage with these people. Don't engage with people that don't benefit you in your life. One thing I've also learned is if someone's being rude, I don't have to respect you to stand there and listen. Because if you're not respecting me, why do I have to respect you? If you don't care how I feel, why should I care about how you feel? Let alone getting your words across. It's really that simple, guys. Start using your free will. I've been told I have relationship OCD. I have the thought I'm not attracted to my partner, though everything with us is perfect. Is this just me repeating that assumption? Yep. In my mind rather than OCD. Yeah. Because I'm not a doctor or anything. However, as someone who has, I want to say, basically cured anxiety. I used to be a very anxious person. Now I don't get anxiety as often, or even at all, to be honest. It was all because I kept identifying as an anxious person. The moment I stopped identifying as an anxious person, I no longer was anxious. It just started to not happen more and more. How do I live in the end, trust the process, then it is coming in the 3D, and just accept that I have my SP or AC coming, because techniques don't manifest, only states, right? So you stay in the end because you know that your assumption is your manifestation. So the internal fulfillment is your desire. Then, as a byproduct of what you just did with that assumption, you'll get a physical representation of that in your physical world. Yeah, like we can just choose to not interact with people. Um, but yeah, like going back to like what I was saying earlier, your reality is just you. It's just a reflection of yourself. A lot of people think it's so hard to not pay attention to the 3D. Well, it's because the 3D is you. Do what you can to make yourself more comfortable in the 3D, whether it's walking away, if it's like a person, or self-soothing yourself, however that may be for you. However, understand that you will never truly ever run away from the 3D because it's just you. It's just you. Have you had an awakening? Have you seen your true nature, or are you on the awakening path? I want to say my awakening was when I entered spirituality back many years ago. Do you still believe slash practice revision? I crashed out and said some mean nasty things to a man I like because I guess I have this repeating story insecurity about cheating. I don't do revision anymore. Like I said, I'm more so rely on decision making. So in your scenario, what I would do is I would just decide that that fight is not enough for them to be mad at me. So they're just not. Do you see how simple and to the point I make it? If you're worried that that fight is causing like some disturbance in your relationship, just decide it's not. It's literally that easy. Just decide, or you can just decide that that fight means that you guys are getting even closer. I don't know my big three. I know like my sun sign is a Leo, but I've never checked for my moon or my rising. So for states, when deciding like SP and I are in a relationship, that's the end goal. Tense of the affirmation doesn't matter any state. No, the tense doesn't matter. So I affirm in future tense, but the state only matters. I wouldn't even like say the state matters as much, to be honest. It's just a story. It's just a story. The story that you're telling is what matters most. Because you can be in a state of anger and still get what you want. There are people who are in a state of happiness and they don't get what they want. But the difference is it's the story that you're telling. Something I always recommend people do is nervous system regulation. If you find that it's a lot harder to keep the story up, it's probably because you have a dysregulated nervous system. And this is when I start telling people, start doing your breathing exercises, right? Start using, I'm not someone who does EFT tapping, but a lot of people I work with do it and they love it. I use box breathing. The thing about it is when your nervous system is not regulated, you're going to like start reacting from a heightened sense of emotion. When you're reacting from a heightened sense of emotion, you're not critically thinking about how objective and neutral the law is. So you're agreeing with all the random thoughts your ego is putting in your mind. Did I miss? Do you follow Neville or anyone else? Honestly, no. I barely even watch manifestation content as is because I want to make this something, I want to make like something really clear, guys. But once the law clicks and once you understand how to use the law, and it's as simple as what you assume to be true has to be true, there you come to realize that every coach on YouTube that's teaching manifestation is literally just teaching the same thing, just in a different perspective, just in a different font. The fundamentals don't change. So once manifestation clicked for me, I really did not find any reason to consistently keep reading up on manifestation content or watching people. I mean, I might just for fun, like here and there. But do I actively study law of assumption? Not anymore. And that was something I came to terms with like a little while ago. And I was like, I don't have to keep reading up on manifestation because, in some way, shape, or form, there was like a little inkling in the back of my mind where I was like, it's not that I'm ever gonna stop learning, right? Because I'm always someone who believes that you're gonna always learn till the day you die. But it's like, if you understand something really, really, really well, it's okay to not have to consume as much information as you did when you first started learning. Let me see. Did I miss anything? I keep getting confused about taking action. So that's gonna be very dependent on you. Here's what I'll say about that. Do you have to take action for your manifestation to happen? No, because you will naturally be pulled in a direction to fulfill whatever it is you need to do to be led to your manifestation. And you do that without even thinking. Now, if you want to take action, do it from the mindset of telling yourself that I'm going to do this, but this is going to lead me to my desire. If you cannot have this mindset, I really, 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 really urge you not to take any action, because if you take action and it doesn't go how you want and you start reacting, it's going to do you not the greatest thing. It's not going to do you any good if you're going to just sit there and spiral because you didn't get the results you wanted from taking action when you didn't even need to take action to begin with. If you're someone who is not going to be affected by what happens when you take action, then by all means do it. That's why I never recommend people text first when it comes to SP stuff, because I know most people aren't regulated enough to handle what the outcome is if it's not favorable. Have you ever astral projected? Nope. I've never. I've heard the wild stories about people who do, and it's very interesting, but no, me personally, I haven't. I used to be so concerned about the tense before for me by saying it's coming. This is going to happen. Work best. I would say not focus too much on the tense, just what you feel comfortable. Yeah, exactly. It doesn't really matter how you word it, as long as it just implies you have it. Yeah, I don't consume information anymore about manifesting. Like, I remember like how I would just sit there and just consume and consume and consume stuff, and I'm like, I already know this. It came to a point where like there was no new information. There's no new information, and any and all the information I was coming across was just the same fundamentals. And that basically was boiled down to your story creates. That's it. And then I was like, I really could be spending time doing a hobby, investing in other things. And, like, I love manifestation content, but there comes the point where, like, you don't need to be learning about it when you already understand it. As often as I was, I should say. All right, guys, I'm going to answer one more question. And yeah, that's what I'm going to leave you with. Let me see. Yes, manifestation is basically just decision making. I'm still doing coaching if you guys are interested, because I get that question, I want to say 5 times a day. I'm not even joking, sometimes it's even more. When facing a problem where I want specific outcome, like being millionaire, but at the same time, I have an issue with my current situation. Should I forget about the specific outcome and focus on fixing the 3D, or should I continue being in the end? I would say just continue living in the end. Forget about the physical world, because the physical world has no input in you creating an assumption. That part is completely up to you. The 3D can't tell you what you have or don't have, because that job is completely up to consciousness, and the only consciousness in your reality is you. So the second you make a decision, it's already true. Now, once you make that decision, your job is to stay there. Stay in that story. I sound like a broken record, but I feel like it's the hardest thing for people, and I just don't understand why. I don't understand why that's so difficult. Just stay in the story. No matter what the 3D shows you, no matter what somebody tells you, no matter what somebody says, no matter what you're shown, stay in the preferred story. That's literally it. That's manifestation. That's it. 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 That's all manifestation is. Just stay in the story. Stay in the story. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed your time with me. If you want one-on-one coaching, head over to my site, conjuredrealm.com. You can book coaching there with me. I'm still doing coaching. I have open availability, so you can book there at your convenience. So let me know if you guys have any questions or if you need any help with anything. I'm always here. Also, I have Twitter. I'm a lot more active now on Twitter because it just seems a little bit more fun. You can find me there at conjuredrealm88. But yeah, love you guys. I'll see you in my next video or on Twitter. All right. Happy manifesting.